T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Coach on Fire Radio.
I am the tiger, dancing through the fire. I am the champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
You're listening to the Flourish and Thrive Radio Show, episode 21. Hello, and Kate Hartley here, and welcome to another episode of the Flourish and Thrive Radio Show. Thank you so very, very much for tuning in. This is the show where I interview guests whose stories will inspire you to take the steps you need to create the life you want and educate you with tips and strategies to help you overcome your roadblocks. My guests all have one thing in common, and that is the passion to consistently take action, to follow their dreams and achieve their goals in life. On this show, you also hear what's working and not working in people's lives, the challenges they face, and more importantly, how they overcome those challenges, using their resourcefulness to get to where they want to be. Before I get into the details of my holistic guest today, remember that you'll be able to listen to the replay of this interview on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/flourishtherapy.co.uk, and also on the Coach on Fire Facebook page, which is facebook.com/coachonfireradio. Now, back to today's episode. I can't wait to introduce you to my guest today. Her name is Sheila Partridge. And Shiela is a holistic life coach, author, vortex healing practitioner, and Sivananda yoga teacher. She's passionate about helping people transform their lives for the better, and I'm so looking forward to introducing Sheila to you. So without further ado, Sheila, welcome to the Flourish and Thrive Radio Show. How are you today?
I am so super excited and I'm just so happy to be on the program today.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing your time with us. And I've got to say, you're coming across really, really well. You must have a good quality mic at your end.
Well, it's just the normal little microphone thing that you use with a phone or anything. So I'm pleased it's working.
You do. You sound fantastic. You're crystal clear. So, Sheila, to get us started today, do you want to share with us a little bit about what set you off on the journey that you've embarked upon and what's your big why?
Well, I guess my journey started. The journey that I'm actually on now started probably in 2009.
Yeah.
I had a major breakup with my then partner, and a few months before then, I had lost my job in Dubai, and that in itself was quite a big deal for me. And then my partner and I broke up, and things just fell apart as I kind of knew it, life as I knew it, and I then spent some months being heartbroken and just not connecting with anything really, myself in particular. And I came across a healing modality called vortex energy healing. And I heard about it, and less than 2 weeks later, I went to my first class. And things really started to shift for me right then. And so that was what started really my journey of self-discovery and I guess taking responsibility for how I feel, how I felt back then and how I feel now. And since then, I've been learning, practicing, trying to share with other people how important it is to really get to know yourself and also take responsibility, but get to know yourself and what really matters to you, what's important to you, and see things from different perspectives. Because sometimes we're so focused and looking at things in one way only, we're missing out on a whole load of other things. So
It sounds like that vortex healing was just what you needed at that time as well, Sheila.
It absolutely was. Yeah.
I'm fascinated to understand more about vortex healing because I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I suppose is vortex energy healing using a similar sort of energy? Are you using sort of universal energy, or how does that work?
It is similar. It's a divine energy, and it has two paths. One of the paths is the healing modality, and the other path is an awakening path. So it works mainly on our conditioning. So if I look at myself and how I was, everything I did was almost, I guess, in a way, on autopilot. And that's our conditioning from family, society, female, male, parent, child, whatever. And so Vortex kind of looks at all those layers that are our conditioning and in a way breaks them down and helps with the consciousness. So I've worked a lot with my own consciousness, and in my work, I'm always working with people and their consciousness so that they become more aware. They're more conscious of their actions and what they're doing. So, yeah.
And can you describe the difference between what the healing and the awakening is in that therapy?
Well, I guess the healing side of it is that it's working on it's a tool, an energy tool that I can use on myself and other people on, physical issues or mental issues or similar ways that you would do possibly with the Reiki. And on the awakening path, it's about how I'm engaging with life and how my clients, if I'm working with them, how they're engaging with life. So it's how we bridge, I guess, divinity or awareness into someone else's consciousness.
Gosh, that sounds so deep and all-encompassing. And so tell me, with something like that, because I think, talking from a Reiki background, some people understand what Reiki is, so they know what they're coming for. Some people might book in for, say, something like a psychotherapeutic session. They just know that they've got problems, but they're not entirely sure what those problems stem from and how to help resolve those problems. With something like vortex healing, what's your typical client? What sort of troubles do they come with, and how do they know that that's the sort of therapy that they need?
Well, I guess most people don't actually know modalities. Mm-hmm. So when someone comes to you, they've either been recommended or they read something, or you happen to engage with them on. I've met quite a few of my clients that way, where you just are talking to them about something else, matter-of-factly, and then they say, "Oh, what do you do?" And you say, "Well, I'm a vortex energy practitioner." It's the way that I work is I've struggled a little bit, I'll be honest, with calling myself a healer. Mm-hmm. Because it's kind of loaded. When you say that you're a healer, if people are not also a Reiki person or any other kind of modality practitioner, people don't want to be healed.
Yes.
Because that puts them off. They're not broken. They don't need healing. So I've tended to shy away a little bit from calling myself a healer, particularly for that reason. And so I've kind of gone about it by talking more about maybe situations that people might be experiencing. So if people are going through a grieving process or a divorce or can't really find that job that they want, or finding a partner, something like this, then you're a little bit more approachable or more human to people that are not in the kind of healing, kind of spiritual modality thing. And so that's kind of how I go about it. And then the divine, I don't have any power, or it's really the way the divine is working through me.
Yes, yeah, you're a channel for that energy to work.
Exactly. And I've combined it a bit with coaching, because for me, the way that the vortex energy healing works through me is very often through conversation.
Okay.
I have a gift, if you will, for either reading between lines if it's written, or if I'm with somebody, I can read body language, or read what's being said, and I can help people to maybe express themselves or really vocalize what's really going on for them.
I see. So people come to you with a problem, but they're not necessarily coming specifically for energy, or you to see you as a vortex energy practitioner. But then when they're there, if they're open to that sort of therapy, then that's when you can go in and help them along that sort of platform.
Exactly. I mean, I can do the hands-on healing, and I do that. But for me, that's not how it's worked out for me. It tends to be more vocal or distant stuff, or people become open to it. But that's just how it works. Or somebody comes to you with a disagreement, or not getting along with somebody close to them. When you speak to them, you find out it's a whole different issue that they really want to be talking about or dealing with.
So I was going to say, with somebody, say they've come, or in a similar position as to you were, your relationship had broken down, and you're grieving the end of that relationship, and you're feeling particularly lost in life. Because obviously a lot of us go through that at various stages of our lives. What sort of benefit would the vortex energy healing have for that individual if they were open to it?
I believe that with the vortex energy healing, it enables you to see on a conscious level for yourself that lots of things are just an illusion. Lots of things are just a story. Lots of things are just temporary. One of the biggest shifts that I had was when I finally realized that I was the common denominator in my divorce, in my breakup, and I was the main actress in it. And when it finally hit me that everything was a story that I was in, it kind of gave me the freedom to be able to breathe, first of all, and to know that everything can change, everything can transform, things can get better if I want them to.
Yeah.
And so once you realize that everything is kind of interacting with you, you're always the main person, it just, for me, it's a freeing, it's just something so freeing.
I think you're so right. It's so empowering, because some of my clients I see, and they don't realise that actually they have the power to change how they allow things, or how they let things affect them. You might not be able to change the fact that you've got divorced, but you have so much power over how you let the various elements of the divorce process and a marriage breakdown, and the grief and the loss and the pain and the anger and the hurt and the various other negative emotions that go along with that. You have total control. If you want, you make that choice, not necessarily control, but you have that choice as to how you let those negative and positive